I don't know how many times I actually had to say this. I don't know how many times I had to give people a very good logical explanation on something that is so profound that they still question my statements. They still question what I say is true and not true. Only because they're scared cowards. Plain and simple. Hello everyone. Once again, this is Dare to Speak. And I mean, it's one thing to debate against something when someone wants to make their voice heard, or someone wants to make a very good point. Now, I've been going back and forth with people involving religion and things like that. And I know there's some videos that some religious people are not gonna like seeing. That they're actually gonna get very offended. But just to let you know, I'm not doing these things just to piss people off for the sake of just pissing them off and just getting a rise out of them. One person just complained to me saying that I'm saying stupid things against religion, against Jesus, the Bible, and stuff like that, with no actual proof to back that up. And I showed proof, but the thing about it is, that person didn't want to accept it. And I says, look, if you want to debate, I'm on Facebook. We could video chat. I mean, we could video chat all we want and we could debate all we want, just as long as we keep it, civilized. And believe me, I will put you in your place. I will prove to you that you will doubt your own beliefs, that God even exists, heaven and hell, and most of all, not just Jesus and stuff like that, but most of all, the belief in Satan. I said this before, and I'm going to say it again. Satan does not exist. Satan never existed. He's made up.
There is a force, an energy, a consciousness that literally created the space, which we call our universe, which is multidimensional, which according to the Andromedans has over 100 trillion galaxies in it.
There are many who are going to say that what you are saying is heresy, what you are saying, you have been misled. If you are not lying, then you are dealing with representatives of Satan.
There is no Satan, Art. The Catholic Church made it up. They even admitted it. They even admitted to creating the devil. But nobody wants to listen because everybody is so hooked on fear. People have become addicted to being afraid of something.
A vengeful God?
Oh, that's what the Bible says.
A God to
I am a
be
loving and forgiving God, yet I'm a jealous God, who will throw you in abyss for making a mistake.
Yeah, I never bought into that part either. A jealous God who would, if you thought about anything other than him, get angry and toss you into the fiery abyss, yes.
But if he was the only one, what would he be afraid of? I mean, I don't get it.
Just like with the God deception, the Jesus deception, the heaven and hell deception, there's also a Satan or devil deception. A lot of people don't want to believe that because they think that they know the truth on a doctrine that's been taught to us, that we're taught to never to question. We're never given a choice. When you're born into a religious family, you don't have a choice. They say, this is the truth. There's a God. There's a Satan. You need to watch out for him. You need to do this. You need to do that in order to avoid going to hell. And you get scared growing up. You're pretty much scared into believing in Christianity. So you're like, I don't want to go to hell. I don't want to be in hell, or for the devil to come and take my soul and whatever when I die, and then you get scared into it. You're not given a choice. And if you do question, which you have the right to do, when you're 15, 16 years old and you start questioning things, people want to either argue with you or say that you're sinful for even saying those things. And to me, that's very cruel. That's very harsh. And not to mention very ignorant, just to actually say or to do. Or for people to even go as far as to disown their kids, or people that are friends that grew up in high school together, and then they just say that one guy who used to be a Christian, like myself, who used to believe in God, and then started to slowly, within a 5 or 6 year period, became an agnostic. Like in my case, within 5 or 6 years, or became an atheist. He started questioning the Bible and started favoring science. And then for actual friendships to be lost over that, to me that's very sad and it's very unnecessary. If you're going to have a disagreement about your spiritual faith and, whether you're a believer and your friend is a non-believer, you can work things out. I mean, you could just as long as you respect each other's beliefs and just keep it at that. My problem is religious people who try to brainwash or try to convert as many people as possible, as if they need to do it. They need to save them. Religion should be an option. It should be a choice. To choose to believe or choose not to believe. That's the way it should be. You don't go out on the street trying to pass out flyers or little pamphlets and say that Jesus died for your sins and beware of hell, how to avoid hell, and create this fear propaganda. There's no need for that. So don't you? I don't know. I just don't understand why people don't fucking realize that. They don't stop and think and say, this is wrong. You don't scare people or try to convert as many people as possible. Oh, I'm doing God's work. I'm trying to help as many people as I can, so I need to share them about Jesus and about how to avoid hell. You don't need to do that shit. Fuck you. There's churches all over the place. They could easily walk in if they decide to turn to God and they decide to go in. If they went from a non-believer, from an atheist to a Christian and they believe, fine. There's nothing wrong with that, because that's your right. But it's also your right to stick to your guns and say, I'm sorry, I just don't believe. I used to believe, but I don't believe anymore. Leave them the fuck alone. There's no need to bother them. Just leave them alone. Plain and simple. You don't need to convert this person. Oh, this person is lost. I need to help him find his way. I need to share with him about Jesus and how much he loves you. And how to avoid hell because, you know, you don't want to say this. You don't want to end up like this. You don't want to end up like this person or that person. First of all, you don't know if that person went to hell or not. So they need to shut up about that because it's just so fucking, so overwhelmingly stupid. Now, this person, I had their name here at one point, but I don't know. I'll look for it later, but she was basically, she got angry at one particular video that I did, which got over 2,000 views, when I was criticizing a woman named Angelica Sobrano. Now, this woman is a big-time con artist. She said she had a vision of hell, that Jesus took her and that she, you know, took her into hell to see what will happen if people don't change their ways. And that she saw celebrities in hell, that she saw Michael Jackson in hell because of his sinful ways of his music, and he was being worshipped as some sort of god or something like that. And he was forced to sing and dance to a bunch of demons, and he was at the same time saying, "Help me," and Jesus says, "There's no hope for him. I don't know him. He turned away from me," and this and that. Do you honestly believe that stupid bullshit? You would have to be a straight up idiot, a moron, a gullible person to actually believe that shit. And secondly, she said that she saw Selena, the Mexican singer Selena, in hell being tormented, and because of her music, that she wasn't respecting God. She was talking about love and relationships, how to be, or I don't know, some kind of something about being worshipped or whatever like that. That she wasn't being respectful towards Jesus and all this kind of thing. Wasn't she Christian to begin with? And secondly, if there is any kind of hell or something like that in which someone would go to, it would be because they signed their name in blood to a contract, excuse me, to a contract in which they got involved with some kind of, you know, evil organization, Illuminati type of thing, or whatever you want to call it. This type of dark society or whatever, and she was forced to do terrible acts, and she made that decision. Then I can understand in that sense, but in this particular case, according to my own personal research, her father was the one who did that. Her father, Abraham, was the one who signed his name in blood and forced Selena to pretty much sign her name in blood. And she had no say in it. She was about 14 or 15 years old. She said, "You're going to sign this. I'm making this decision for you." How in the fuck is that considered to be a sin for her when she didn't even make that decision? Now, these are for people like, if I still believed in God and heaven and hell, this is what I would say to people. I would say it's not her fault. Why should she suffer for someone else's decision? Why? It doesn't make sense. People today are just so fucking stupid. People should know that Jesus never existed. At least not in the way that, you know, mainstream Christianity type of thinking, what they believe in. You'd be very disappointed to know that he never existed in real history. And the Bible is not history. It's not a history book. It's a folklore book. It's a book of folklore. That's all it is. Just fables, stories. Basically, that's what it is. And for people to believe that there's a hell and for people not to use, not to violate any of the 10 Commandments, because you'll end up going to hell if you pretty much violate any of them. Do you realize how much level of control that is for someone to ever actually believe that shit and then give into it? To me, that's very frightening, very disturbing. And it makes you question, it makes you wonder, if they have that much control using fear propaganda, what if Christianity is evil? What if Christianity is actually the very thing that you need to stay far away from, to have nothing to do with? Did you ever stop to think? If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Questions or comments, you know what to do. And for those of you who want to debate and try to prove me wrong on what I'm saying, I'm willing to challenge anybody, and I mean anybody, who thinks they could put me in my place or make me feel, or maybe become speechless, that I don't know what I'm talking about, to make it seem that all atheists and agnostics are pretty much ignorant fools or idiots or whatever you want to call them. I dare you to debate, and believe me, you will not win. You won't win. I'm on Facebook. Excuse me. I'm on Facebook. So just look for me on it. My real name is Miguel Flores, and you'll see my picture. You see my profile. And for any of you who wants to drop comments or set up some sort of debate, and we could have through a chat, through a video chat, especially this person that's been criticizing me all this time, I'm letting you know I'm on Facebook, so feel free to do whatever you want. And this is Dare to Speak, and to all of you, take care.